Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me from. I am Trish Lindo, and welcome to another episode of Too Ambitious. I am super happy that everyone is here today. I am super happy to have my very special guest on today. And first of all, if this is your first time joining the show, this is a live series that celebrates Black women and women of color entrepreneurs who are changing the world. They're very ambitious, they're talented, they're resilient, and of course, as you can imagine, they are very, very ambitious. So please give me some love in the comments. Show me some love. Give me some heart emojis. I want to see like the screen light up because all of you are so happy to see me today. Uh, no, for real, light up the screen. All right. So today I'm super excited to have the Ashlie Kego on the show today. She is a Nigerian American known for her creating bold and thought provoking art that captures the rich beauty of African culture. I'm super excited for her to be here. I want you all to show her lots of love, so welcome, welcome, Ashlie.
Hello, hello.
Hey. I'm so happy you are here. Thank you so much for joining the show. How is your day going, Ashlie?
It's going well. It's raining right now, so I'm truly enjoying this. This is the best time for me to create. So
Ooh,
I love
okay.
weather.
All right. I love that. Look at you already dropping like some tea already, and how the process happens. So I wanted to have you on the show because you are an extraordinary artist.
Thank you.
You are an entrepreneur. You are, an artist that is, could be one of those where people will be talking about for centuries, right? Because your work,
Yes.
because your work is that amazing. So let's get into it. I want to know more about you. Tell me a little bit about, how did you discover that you are a gifted artist? Like, when did this process start for you?
Okay, so funny enough, it was during the pandemic. During
Oh,
the pandemic, with nothing to do, I'm a full-time teacher. So
okay.
when the pandemic happened, everything shut down, couldn't leave the house or anything. So I started painting shirts. I was
Okay.
painting shirts, and then all of a sudden, my uncle saw us. Said, "What?" Because I'm known for singing. Who
Right.
painted that? He asked my mom, "Who painted?" I said, "Ashley did." Tell her to stop painting shirts and do statement pieces for houses.
Mhm.
And as you can see up there on the screen, that was my very first painting, Yakubu,
Mhm.
that I painted. Um, I like to incorporate my Nigerian background, my culture, and so
Yeah.
this piece represents my grandfather who was a chief in his village. And the cool
Mm.
thing about this, if you use an app called Black Terminus, you can
Okay.
hear it animates and you can hear the authentic music from the village where I come from.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
hadn't heard of that. That's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That's wonderful. So, so you said all started during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Had you created anything before pre-pandemic? Like, even as a kid, like, how did you kind of get this bug to kind of start painting though?
To be honest, it was really random. I was a freelance hair and makeup artist, so I was painting faces. So I literally went from painting faces, pandemic hits, and then I'm painting canvases. I've always been quite creative,
Okay.
but it was never like my thing to just start painting. It
Hmm.
wasn't, but it just something in me just it interested me to just try to do something different. And so
Yeah.
that's why I tell my students all the time: if anything ever piques your interest, just to try it, because it may be foreign to you physically, but spiritually it may not be, and you would never know what it'll take you to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you're living proof of that. So, thank you for inspiring us. Well, first of all, the African mask, I know that is part of your culture and everything like that. But, why the mask? Did you dream about them? How did this come to be? Because you could have painted anything, right?
Hmm. Hmm. So growing up, I grew up in a 19 Victorian house in Iowa. I was born in Des Moines, Iowa.
Ah,
And we had stainless. I'm trying to just give you the rough background
yeah, please.
of my painting. So we had is it stainless? Oh my gosh, how do you call those? Stained glass. There you go.
Stained glass.
Okay, stained glass. We had stained glass windows in our house, and I was always intrigued by when the light would pour in and it hit the
Mm.
windows, and then the colors that would appear on the floor. So I always was very intrigued with that. And then my mom always had African masks around the house. always, every corner you turn, there would be a mask. So between the two of those, they collided together, and boom, there comes my creation. Kind of
Oh
was
my
birthed.
God. Oh my God. Wow. So let's talk a little bit about, some of the work that you have created in the past. What I'm fascinated about is that you created this artwork. You didn't really know how it was all going to evolve. So
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about that process of taking it to the next level when you realize like, oh, somebody wants to buy this? Like, really?
Yeah. I really did not. Let's say the art world is like a different type of. I'm learning as I'm going, but
Right.
what they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. At
Yes.
that time, so it's COVID, we're locked in. I was just being able to express myself on a canvas and not
Right.
having like any limits. And it
Right.
didn't really matter what I painted, but because I
Mhm.
got a good response back from the shirts, which I was painting like faces, masks. I was like, okay, well, a lot of people want to buy the shirt, so let me just continue with this style.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy because I submitted that piece Yakubu to the De Young Museum,
Mhm.
and about nearly 8,000 submissions were. Um, there we go. You can see it. More than 7,700 were submitted, and then they selected me, and it was crazy. It was just like I was like, "Wow, what? My very first painting is in the De Young. That's like crazy." I had been there. I had went to go visit the De Young Museum in February, and I saw
Mhm.
Kainde Wiley's artwork, and I was just so fab. His work is spectacular, just
Yeah.
amazing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how could I get into this place too? Like, I want to be here." And
Yeah.
like within like 6 months, my painting was in there. It was a crazy thing. Manifested it. Literally just manifested it. So, but from being in the Diego Museum, it has opened a lot of doors for me.
Yeah,
So I,
I bet.
yeah. So I just keep on painting.
Yes, I love that. And then for context for everyone, the DeYoung Museum is in San Francisco.
Correct. Correct. But
So if you live in the Bay Area, maybe you've seen Ashley's work and, now you get to meet her, well, virtually. But, but tell me a little bit about your process to creating your artwork. How long does it take to create these masterpieces? And then do you see it in your mind first,
Mhm.
or does it all kind of come together organically?
Okay, so usually I try to envision. I pick like something. What is it going to be, a male or a female or both?
Okay.
So that's how I start off. At
Yeah.
first, start off trying to figure out what I wanted to do,
Right.
and then like, what is it that I want to project? Like, what is it that I want the world to see? What I'm trying to create. And
Right.
then sometimes, like, I would wave my hand over my bin of colors, and I was just like, God, please just show me colors that would work for me. And I just grab colors out of there randomly. So sometimes it doesn't make sense, but you're like, okay, why? But it does make sense after you're done creating the piece. But
Yes.
so I would do that, and then yeah, I sketch it out first, and then sometimes because the colors are so vibrant, it takes like several coats. Like you, it takes a while. You have
Okay.
to go over and over and over and over and over. So it does take a while, depending on the size of the piece. Kind of tells you like how long it would. Like this piece took me maybe possibly about like 2.5 weeks, maybe three,
Okay. All
three
right.
weeks to create this
Yeah.
piece.
All
So
right.
I know you have a picture of I think
Yeah.
there's a woman.
Yes. Let's see here. Hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing for just a little bit. But I did want to find out from you though, when you're creating these pieces, um, what's your thought process in terms of like what you have in mind for it? Are you thinking like, oh, okay, this will sell or that kind of thing? Like how
No,
much of like that are you thinking about?
I'm not really thinking about the money. I'm not. It's just something you just want to do. It's just
Okay.
something you just want to do. You just want to express yourself. You want to just create. Like sometimes there's moods, like there's different times I'm like, okay, I don't feel like creating.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
I'm commissioned to do a piece, I'm like, oh, and they want this and this. It's not as fun. But when you're
Okay.
creating because you want to create, it becomes, it's very therapeutic. It becomes
Right.
enjoyable. Yes,
Yeah.
this piece right here. Oh, this one has a very good story.
Beautiful. It's
Um,
called Califia?
it's Califia.
Califia, yes.
So before I started to paint this piece, I wanted to paint a piece that showed like a strong Black woman with her natural curly hair, fierce, fearless. And so I started to create this piece. And after I was done creating it, I named it Warrior Queen.
Mm.
So I had a friend come over and they came in, they saw, I was like, oh, I just finished painting this piece. Like, oh, you painted Califia. I said, Califia? Like, yeah, don't you know who Califia is? I'm like, no. And then they're like, Google Califia, looks just like her. So I Googled Califia. I was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was
Oh,
crazy how much it looked like. So California was named after a warrior queen
no
named
way.
Califia. And I had no knowledge. It was like I was channeling her into the painting. So that's how she ended up getting her name Califia.
Oh.
So I had a woman who actually she travels for work and she stays in like every country for like 2 years. And
Mhm,
so she collects art as she travels. So she saw this piece at the Black Hawk Gallery in Danville. And
mhm.
she was like, that's a beautiful piece. And I started telling her the story about it, how actually Califia stands for California. She's like, oh my gosh, I want this piece. So this is actually the highest piece I've sold. She moved, shipped it to Angola. And so there goes Califia.
Oh my God. Well, congratulations on that,
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me what it was like to sell this piece, like, what that feeling is like for someone to pay you for your work and for something that you're so passionate about.
To be honest, I can't even lie. It's like a piece of you. It's literally like a piece of you. You're
Yeah.
like letting go of. You have like an attachment to it, but you
Mhm.
can't have an attachment to it because there's so many pieces that you have to like. You can't keep everything.
Yeah.
You're supposed to find your gift. You're supposed to share it with the world. So the fact that
Right.
she appreciates my work makes me feel good about letting them have the piece as long
Yeah.
as they appreciate it. But literally, like all my pieces, they're a piece of me. They're a piece of me. So if you have any of my pieces, you have a piece of me in your home or in your space. So
Wow. That's a really great perspective, for especially for someone like you who's an artist, is that we are taking a piece of you home. So that's pretty fascinating. Tell me a little bit about the business of you being an entrepreneur and a creative. Like, how does that work? Like, do you have like a team of people to help you? Are you a solopreneur? How are you making the business of being an artist work?
I am a solopreneur, and literally it's a lot of work. I can't even lie. But if you have a goal in mind or like an end piece where you see yourself, it literally you don't think of it as work. You just get it done.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just get it done. It is a lot of work. Yeah, like I said, it is a lot of work. You just have to hustle and grind. Look for opportunities. Just look for any opportunities. Like at my earlier stages of I had to go looking for places. Oh, could I do this? Could you do this? Can I exhibit here? But now I'm at that point where they're actually calling looking for me. So you
ooh,
put that
yes.
initial like work and then I'm telling you, they come and you attract it. You just attract it.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that, you just attract it, because it's all about, the positivity that you put behind it and the mindset and how you feel about your work, right? So that's really awesome. So, and I know you mentioned too that, you've recently, gone to London and everything like that. So tell me a little bit about how you are sort of curating your work around the world. Like, how is this all happening for you, Ashley? Tell
Well,
us.
when you find out, let me know because I really don't know how it's happening. Like I say, will you manifest things if you're living your purpose in your purpose? Like I'm telling you, the road just lights up and it just comes to you.
Yeah.
It really does just come to you. So I was able to be fortunate to meet he's no well known for he's an art collector, a private art collector,
Mm,
Tunji Akin Tokun. And
okay.
so I had the pleasure of meeting with him and he purchased one of my pieces that are now going into his Elisha Trust. So I was
Nice.
oh my gosh, I was so elated for that. And so he's he represents different artists out there too. So he's gonna start representing me, helping me out there in the UK, and a couple galleries out there that I went to go meet with. So I'm excited for the future. Like I was
That's
saying before, I
amazing.
may actually do a residential program out there in the UK. So
Wow, that's
that's
incredible. That's wonderful.
thank you.
Yes, we love all of that, So he's taking your work and putting it in his personal collection?
Yes, his private collection.
Oh my God.
So I'm
And
excited.
then So when someone says like, "Hey, I want a piece for my private collection," do you create something specifically for them, or do they get a chance to go through what you already have?
They can go through what I have,
Okay.
and or if they want me to create, I'm open to either or.
Well, all
But
right.
so they're serious art collectors. Like they say that art is even it's better than investing in stocks because the price
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about all that. So I'm still a novice. A lot to learn
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about some of the places where, anyone who's watching can find your work and maybe purchase or, just to kind of maybe go to a museum and see them.
Well, so far I've been featured in Macy's and Union Square.
That's
Also
in
in
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Mhm.
Also West Elm in
Mm,
Emeryville.
okay.
Intuit headquarters in Plano, Texas, Atlanta, San Diego, and Mountain View.
Okay.
Udemy, I was able to go there and speak on their panel. And
Mhm.
then there's one more there's one more tech company. NXP had me, they featured me, so I know they purchased a piece. Um, Livermore Library, I was invited to the BET Awards. It's just,
Ooh.
it's been a good crazy. It's been a good crazy.
Yeah, it's nonstop, and that's when you know you're really living your purpose, right?
Yeah,
Because it feels effortless, even though it is a lot of
right.
work.
It is a work, yeah, and yeah, but you got to
Yeah.
put anything worth having. You got to put in a little bit of work.
Yes, 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 and I'm sure every entrepreneur who's listening can attest to that. So, thank you for reminding all of us that as well. I love this one that's up on the screen, Black Lion. Tell me a little bit about the story behind this one.
Well, this represents like Africa as a whole. You think of lions, I think of Africa. So I was like, I have to
Mm.
create a piece. My dad was like, you have to choose it. You have to do a black lion. You have to do a black lion. I was like, Dad. And then he kind of was like, you just trust me. Just trust me. So I painted this piece, and this one is well liked by a lot of people. I've installed these in like massive canvases into people's homes, and
Mhm.
and I have shirts, and they animate and play music. So they're pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible. And you mentioned your dad. Tell me a little bit about your family and how they feel about, your career and this beautiful work that you're putting out into the world. What do they say about you, Ashley?
Well, they're very proud of me. They're very supportive, so I'm very grateful for them. They just keep
Yeah.
telling me, "Keep pushing, Ashley. Keep pushing. Go as far
Mhm.
as you can." And it's more than just art for me because I paint with a purpose for a cause. I paint for a
Mhm.
cause. Um, I have two sisters with sickle cell anemia,
Mhm.
so then a portion of everything I make goes to help support the nonprofit Sickle Cell 101.
Mhm.
And so there we go. There we go.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm trying to spread my message as far as wide as if I can get my art out there, I can help. 1 in 12 Black folks are carrying the sickle cell trait, and they don't even know they have it until they have a kid with sickle cell. So
Right.
if I can spread that news, like check your genotype, find out before family planning.
Mhm.
Then that's what I feel like. That's also my purpose, my main purpose, because there's 9 of us. I have 9 siblings.
Okay.
6 of us are carriers. Two of us are have sickle cell, and then one was AA. So 6 are AS, 2 are SS, and then one is AA, which happens to
Mm.
be me. So I'm like, okay, I have to do something about this. I need to spread this word, spread the
Right.
word.
And what do you mean by AA? What does that mean?
Your genotype. It means I don't carry the gene for sickle cell trait. I don't have the trait. So when
Okay.
people with the trait, if they get together and have kids, the possibility of them having sickle cell SS is high. Is quite high. So
Mm.
one
Okay.
one should be mindful before family. 1 in 12. 1 in 12. That's that's a lot.
Wow, yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this is specifically to African Americans, right?
Yeah, it does specific. It does not. Let's just say it did come from Africa. Yeah, it does affect predominantly Black folks, but also there's Hispanics, Indians. Once in a while, you get a few like Caucasians. So it does affect a lot of people.
Okay. And, for anyone out there who doesn't know exactly what sickle cell is, can you tell us a little bit more about it and how the impact it has on the body?
Okay,
I know
so
you're not a doctor, but
I'm not
yeah.
a doctor, but most our blood cells, our red blood cells are round shape. So if you have sickle cell or sickle cell trait, you have some blood cells that are kind of like banana crescent shape. And so when you have brown blood cells, the oxygen is able to flow freely throughout your entire body. But when you have like sickled cells that are banana shaped, it makes it difficult for oxygen to flow. And then sometimes they get blockage and it triggers like crises, or their hemoglobin, the oxygen drops. So they have to be mindful, like high altitude, low altitude, even with people with sickle cell trait.
Right.
They do recommend like not scuba diving because it kind of lowers your hemoglobin. So yeah, you could literally be sitting here smiling. The next thing you're triggered, a crisis is triggered, and then so it's a fatal illness. And
Yeah.
it's scary. My little sister has to get a blood transfusion every month just to survive. So
Oh my
it's
God.
yeah, that's why we got to spread the word. Go find out your genotype.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing, having to see your loved ones suffering and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And all these near death experiences. So it's just go get your genotype. Go find your genotype.
Yeah.
Go get
Well,
tested.
absolutely. And I think, it's very, very noble of you to support, sickle cell. Obviously it's near and dear to your heart, but to give back through your art, is very honorable. And, I mean, some people probably will think, I probably wouldn't do that, but hey, you're doing it for a great reason. So, thank you. And also too, to bring awareness if a lot of people didn't know about this disease, so thank you for that. How can we support this organization, and your nonprofit?
You can go to on my IG page, Sickle Cell 101 is on there. You can always donate or you can purchase a piece, either or. Post Sickle Cell Awareness Month is in September. You could always repost some of my things. If you're a business or corporate, if you want us to come and talk or speak or anything help. Networking. If you know somebody who knows somebody, connect us. So
yes, I think that is very awesome, and that work that you're doing. So yeah, if anyone's out there and wants to support, it's right here up on the screen. If you want to support Ashlie's nonprofit, and also to
Sisters, it's my sister's nonprofit. She runs it. We work hand in hand.
Okay, so Ashlie and her sister's nonprofit, yes, and also to her artwork, So transitioning back to your artwork, if someone is watching right now and they want to connect with you to purchase some of your artwork, to see your artwork, what's that process? How can we find you, Ashlie?
Please slide into my DMs, or you can shoot me an email. My right now my website is under maintenance right now. We're trying to make it into e-commerce so I can have shirts and bags and mugs, all that kind of stuff here for you guys. So if you slide into my DMs, I will answer. That's the best way to get in contact with me.
I love it. And before I let you go, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned in this process since it started for you during COVID, which was a crazy time for everybody?
Yeah.
But what have you learned about yourself from here to now, from there to now?
Well, sometimes you have to go within and search within to discover your gifts. Everybody has a gift. You have to find out what it is. And when you do, you have to nurture it and then share it with the world.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to do. And I think finding yourself, truly just finding yourself, taking that time to just anything that piques your interest, like I was saying, just give it a try. Anything that just piques. If you want to learn the flute and it's like, oh, I want to play the flute, try it. Go try the flute.
Yes.
You want to play a soccer and you haven't tried, just try it. You may be, who knows, a professional in the next few. Just try it. Anything that piques your interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you consider yourself ambitious, Ashlie?
Oh, yes. I've actually had, it's funny because I've had an art, what do you call him? He's an art collector.
Okay.
But they would say he would, I was told I should change my style of my artwork. And I was just looking at him like, why would he even tell me this stuff?
Yeah.
So it gives me the flame to even want to push harder, to be like, here you go. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. Like, success is the best revenge. I can tell you that much. Just for somebody doubting me gives me that much more like flame.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's fascinating that it is your artwork and someone tells you should do it differently.
I know, right? You gotta listen to your intuition. Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't worry what other people say. as long as you believe in yourself, then
Yes.
everybody else will believe in it. And yeah, that's the main thing. Believe in yourself. If you believe you can do it, you absolutely can do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, you are living proof of that, Ashlie. So thank you, thank you,
No,
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show today. I learned so much and definitely want to get your artwork. So, I guess I should slide into your DMs.
Slide in, girlfriend.
I'll slide into your DMs, and see, I can't decide which one. I love so many of them. I can't decide which one. So I'm
No,
like,
thank you. Thank you.
so yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ashlie, for being on Too Ambitious today. I will see you, I'm sure, very, very soon, either in person or, in a gallery somewhere,
Yes,
because it is a
yes,
piece of you.
yes.
So, so thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank
And, for everyone out there, thank you so much for watching Too Ambitious. If you would like to be a guest on this show, message me on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and I would love to have you. And also, too, if you want to be a sponsor of the show as well, slide into my DMs, because that's where all the party is happening. So thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.